everyone. My name is Mica Maligaya and I'm from BSU 1-10. And today we will discuss about globalization of religion. So here is Mr. Christian to give the objectives of this discussion.
So, good day. I'm Christian Tolentino of BSU 1-10 and today I will discuss the main objectives of our group reporting about globalization of religions. Objectives. The ability of religion to act in the process of globalization can be made possible if we broaden the definition of globalization to support ideas and cultural exchange. While one can find aspects of globalization throughout the religious history, it is the story of globalization that explores religion's rapid development. In order to carry out the plan, the concept of globalization and religious actors must be defined, and the history of how the issues came to be must be described.
Good day everyone, I'm Villanueva. So first, let us define what is globalization. So there's a lot of definition about globalization, but the one of it is, globalization is actually the idea that there will no national boundary in the world of business and commerce, and all the trade will operate on an international scale. Globalization is the process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and government of different nations. It is the process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. So, it is the process, step-to-step process. You can jump step 1 to step 5, where others left behind. Meaning to say, it goes along with the process of specific steps in achieving globalization, and that process involves two things, which is the integration and interaction. Meaning to say, people, companies, and government interact with each other despite of their differences and similarities, and thus their interaction is good or bad. They are now integrated as one. We believe that all things that we can do has an effect, whether it is good or bad, positive or negative, or advantages or disadvantages. All of that things earn has an effect. Whether effects on environment, just like for example the climate change, or on culture, or the adaptation of the culture of the other countries, and effects on political systems, on economic development and prosperity, and human physical well-being in societies around the world. Another definition of globalization, according to Manfred Stiger, globalization is the expansion and consciousness across the world time and across world space. The growing interdependence of the world economies, cultures, and populations brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technologies, and those of investments, people, and information. So, the expansion here is refers to both creation of new social networks and the multiplication of existing connections that cut across traditional political, economic, and cultural and geographic boundaries, where the intensification refers to the expansion, stretching, and acceleration of these networks. So that's the meaning of globalization.
Good day everyone, I am Darren Gonzalez from BSU 1-10 and I'm here to report the assigned topic. What is religion? Religion is a fundamental set of beliefs and practices generally agreed upon by a group of people. This set of beliefs concern the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe and involve devotional and ritual observances. They also obtain, contain, and moral code governing the conduct of human affairs.
So good day everyone, my name is Trixie Aguirre from BSC 1-10 and today, in behalf of Group 3, I will be going to explain the given topic to me, which is the comparison between the globalization and the religion. So first, the religion and the globalizations is entirely contrasting with the belief system. Why? Because the globalization is more focused on the political and economical, while on the other hand, the religion is more focused on the theological and religious perspectives of the culture. From the word itself, religion, people has a religious faith, whether what is their religion, and they follow the system of belief and practices. While on globalism, people is more focused on the economical and political growth around the globe. Next one, religion follows divine commandments, while globalism abides human-made laws. It's just like that. For example, I believe in Catholic faith, so I will follow the 10 commandments. It's a religion. While on the other hand, the globalism, it's a national policy, which is a human-made laws abide by a nation. The last one is globalism is much of human actions that led to the highest material satisfactions, while the religions is less concerned about wealth. So it goes beyond that. On globalism, the growth of the economy is underlies with the people on the state. They're grinding for their growth economically, socially, and politically, while on the other hand, on religion, they are not focused on their wealth but rather on their spiritual growth, devotion, and faith.
Good day everyone, my name is Darren Vidad from section BSC 1-10. So, from what have discussed by Ms. Trixie, it is more on the difference between the globalization and religion. Now, my part, I'm going to discuss the relationship between the two, between the globalization and religion. According to Aldama 2018, globalization plays a huge role in providing a context for the revival and the recovery of religion. And through globalization, the religions have spread and scattered all over the world, and it is still continuing to grow from one place to another. In other words, because of globalization, the religions are spread throughout the world. So how it spread throughout the world? It can be because of the missionaries that travels around the world. So these missionaries share the teachings, the knowledge and beliefs of their religion, and they are traveled by the use of transportations. So these transportations was resulted by the globalization. So next, let us discuss what could be the impact of globalization on religion. So, according to GK Today 2016, globalization eliminates the barriers between the different cultures, it includes the religion. So, it strengthens the social identities for those people who do not accept new realities, and it turns religion into rediscovery of their own identity. Therefore, once the barriers between different cultures was eliminated, it results a belongingness to a group in the world. Furthermore, the impact of the globalization to religion is it can create an understanding between different people in different cultures that results in respect towards each other, unity, peace and harmony. So that's it for my part. Now let us proceed to the next discussion that will be discussed by Ms. Mica.
So globalization can be classified into three, namely historical perspective, religious reciprocation, and the secularization. So in historical perspective, there are 4,300 religions all over the world, but just the largest religions will be discussed. The Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and Sikhism. So when we say religious reciprocation, it is the right of a person, specifically an atheist, to insult religion under the right of freedom of expression, but as a personal choice may refrain to do so in public out of respect to the sensitivity of the other. And when we say secularization, it is simply the separation of state and church. So in historical perspective, we have Christianity. So Christianity has a 2.3 billion population all over the world, and it was originated from Judea when Jesus Christ started to preach the gospel. And because of his 12 disciples, it spread out to Jerusalem. And by means of Apostle Paul, it was also spread out to Roman Empire, Europe, Africa, and so on and so forth. So globalization probably entered our shores during the coming of Spain, which introduced the religion Christianity, including their culture and politics in our country. So the Spanish colonization of the Philippines marked the entry of globalization to our motherland. It is said that the Spanish people goal in their conquest, among others, are God, gold, and glory. So because of globalization, different platforms were utilized. Nowadays, with the use of technology, gospel can be spread instantly. Like for example, using the online platforms such as Zoom, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, people can easily share the word of God all over the world. Thus, globalization greatly affects the culture and beliefs of a certain country. Therefore, technology, media, colonization, and culture influence are the reasons of globalization of religion. So, here is Miss Trixie to discuss the religion.
Islam. Islam is the second largest religion in the world after Christianity, with about 1.8 billion Muslims around the world. So next is the word Islam means submission to the will of God, and the followers of Islam are called Muslims. So Islam developed the Arab culture, and based from the historical amounts, the Islam since the time of Prophet Muhammad, they've been doing the globalizations in the trade. Why? Because the Muslim traders came to the Indonesian islands to find the rare spices that present there. Then the merchants settled in Indonesia, blended with the local people. So then they followed the Islam. And of course, Islam originated from Indonesia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Egypt, Syria, Iraq, especially the Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Hinduism was originated in India, and it was shared among the countries of Nepal, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, United States, Malaysia, United Kingdom, and Mauritius. The 14% of the world's population that claims to be part of Hinduism is said to be the world's largest religion. The trans-diversity has been vital in promoting its traditional liberality, as well as encouraging freedom of belief and individuality in people's pursuit of spirituality. Within India, Hinduism has taken up residence in three locations. Number one, rural Hinduism predominates in rural India. About 68% of the population, a set of ritual, shamanic, and occult practices known as village Hinduism. Number two, Rashtriya Hinduism is the great tradition promoted by the Brahmin priestly caste. Example is this, classical Hinduism, as well as monastic orders, for example, Bhakti monks, who distribute the ancient scriptures and mythology. And number three, Renaissance Hinduism, which is especially popular among India's modern middle class and refers to the teachings of Hindu saints and their impact. Hinduism is a polytheistic religion and an extremely complex and diverse cultural phenomenon and has several worthwhile messages for the modern world. These include beliefs such as that the earth is sacred, that all life is interconnected, that service to the earth and humanity is one's moral duty, that karma exists, and the philosophy of simplicity and living simply for spiritual well-being. Because of the challenges it faces from globalized values, materialism, consumerism, and individualism, as well as due to the consequences of 700 years of Indian subjugation, Hinduism also faces many difficulties. Additionally, the open-minded theology and devotion to incorporating and interpreting within Hinduism serve to help mitigate the impact of globalization on the religion.
In Buddhism, Buddhism is originated from India. It is the religion to about 300 million people around the world. The word comes from Buddhist, is meaning to say to awaken. It has its origins about 2,500 years ago, when Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, was himself awakened or enlightened at the age of 35. To many, Buddhism goes beyond religion and is more a philosophy or a way of life. It is philosophy because philosophy means love of wisdom, and the Buddhist path can be summed up as to live a moral life and to be mindful and aware of thoughts and actions, and to develop wisdom and understanding. It has the policy of considering wisdom as a career, the interaction among human beings and other species towards the outer world is very important and necessary. With the expression of taking wisdom as a career, if were to be expressed in today's language, Buddhism will really show the spirit of globalization because of its staff of wisdom and its disciples have integrated the civilization of mankind on their way to the propagation of faith with altruism in the sense of integration and globalization. This core has constantly been propagated by Buddhist teachers and has helped Buddhism to exist and develop for more than 2,000 years. Buddhism can influence the country of Vietnam. The relationship between these countries, in September, Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi met with monks and nuns, Buddhist of Academy, and the President of Vietnam, Buddhist Sangha. An executive council stated that the religion always plays a crucial role in tightening the friendship between the two countries. He said that Indian monks were the first to introduce the Buddhism to Vietnam by a marine trade routes, creating cultural links between these two nations. So globalization can exist in this country. In India, another country is um, Myanmar. Um, Myanmar has loomed large on India's diplomatic horizon. There is a strong connect between the two countries. Buddhism, business, Bollywood, Bharatanatyam, and Burmati. These are the five gifts that trade in Indian-Myanmar relations in popular imagination. Moving beyond this rich configuration, the relations are now acquiring greater economic weight and strategic orientation. Another influence of that Buddhism is the country of Japan. For centuries, the people of India and Japan having cultural exchanges, primarily as a result of Buddhism, which spread indirectly from India to Japan via in China and Korea. The people of India and Japan are guided by common cultural traditions, including the heritage of the Buddhism, and share commitments to the ideas of democracy, tolerance, and liberalism, and open society. So that's all. That's the Buddhism and the influence of Buddhism country.
The Tang Dynasty 618 to 907 CE was one of the greatest in imperial Chinese history. It was a golden age of reform and cultural advancement which laid the foundation for policies which are still observed in China today. The second emperor, Daizong R 626 to 649 CE, was an exemplary ruler who reformed the government's social structure, military, education, and religious practices. Taoist thought focuses on genuine longevity, health, immortality, vitality, Wu Wei of non-action in natural action, a perfect equilibrium with Tao, detachment, refinement, emptiness, spontaneity, transformation, and omnipotential. The word Tao or Tao translates into path and method, principle or way. The character translates into teach or class, and Taoist belief is based on the idea that there is central or organizing principle of the universe, a natural order or a way of heaven, Tao, that one can come to know by living in harmony with the nature and hence with the cosmos and the universe. Where did the Taoism originated? The history of Taoism stretches throughout Chinese history. Originating in prehistoric China, it has exerted a powerful influence over Chinese culture throughout the ages. Taoism evolved in response to changing times, with its doctrine and associated practices being revised and refined. So, what country are those influences by the Taoism? The Taoist religion and philosophy have spread to the neighboring countries who have had close ties with the Chinese, including Japan, Vietnam, and South Korea. And how did Taoism influence those countries? This influence spread from lower class as people had vulgar faith in their religions due to illiteracy. The doctrine of Taoism was then modified to cater for the large quantity of followers. During this gain, Taoists were low of quality and knew little about the doctrine. It is evident that the practice of Taoism was not only influential in early Taoism, but it has influenced the modern Chinese folk society, as similar characteristics of Taoism have been adopted into the culture of Chinese society. And the relationship between the religion and globalization have always shared a relation of struggle and conflict. Globalization has generally been linked with economic and political interdependence, which ultimately has brought people closer, and effect of no event is isolated but is felt in far off places too. It has shifted that cultural build-up of the world and led to formation of a global culture, a common minimum which is accepted by all.
So now let us proceed to Sikhism. So how Sikhism started? According to Christian Science Monitor 2012, Sikhism was originated in Punjab, a region in India on 1946. So Sikhism was founded by Guru Nanak. When I say Guru Nanak, they are a Hindu family that live in village of Punjab. So this Sikhism was shaped by the Guru Nanak and his 9 successors during 16th and 17th century. And in 19th century, the Sikhs was arrived in United States. How the Sikhism was spread throughout the world? First is the Guru Nanak's help to spread the religion, because they are also a missionaries that traveled around the Asia. So as what I have said earlier, that missionaries are the one who spread the religion throughout the world, and they are traveled because of the transportations that resulted by the globalization. So Guru Nanak's as a missionaries spread their teachings and knowledge to different countries that they have departed. So, and next is Sikhs was drafted in British military. We all know that British Empire have colonized many countries. So the Sikhs was stationed in Hong Kong and Malaya, which they also shared their religions, including the teachings and beliefs. So Sikhism has a largest number, or has a largest population in Southeast and Southwest Canada, because we all know that British Empire was colonized the Canada, and also in West Coast United States. So we also know that British Empire also colonized the America. So the Sikhism now has 25 million followers. So that's it for the Sikhism on how globalization affect the religion of Sikhism. First, their Guru Nanaks served as the missionaries that traveled around the world, and also because of the war, they also take this as an opportunity to spread the religion to the colonized countries. So that's it. Thank you.
So, for our conclusion, this concludes that religion and globalization have intertwined in a variety of ways to both provide opportunities and challenge assumptions. Thus, we can see that globalization both benefits and worsens religion by looking at the preceding analysis. Religious ideas and values spread through the media and teaching in one hand, but they also lead to religious division, which leads to the birth of new religions, or sometimes can result in someone becoming an infidel or irreligious, and in that regard helps to fuel terrorist activities in the name of their preserving religion, values, and beliefs. A religion always has certain ideas, values, beliefs, and viewpoints in order to better the human experience, select the correct path, gather their new knowledge, and instill courage. Although there are various religions differences, we should bear in mind that every religion teaches the same fundamental thing: kindness, unity, and peace for all humankind. always avoid taking bad things, take good things whenever possible. Therefore, by eliminating these problems, we can help bring a global culture of peace and harmony.